This is Amy with Keller Williams Platinum Realty, and it is Wednesday, so it's time for me to tell you what's going on in the real estate market in LaFleur County. But before I do that, I want to show you something. See that viney, light green vine that's coming out of that pot and how it's got all those spiky things on it? Those all used to have leaves. It was a sweet potato vine, and it was gorgeous. And we have what we think is a groundhog that just comes and strips that on the regular. So annoying. So if you have any tips about how to catch or eliminate a groundhog, I would love to hear about that. So let's talk about real estate though. So there were 25 new listings this week. There were 12 in the 0 to 100, and a chunk of those were some beautiful lots with a view down in Heavener. So if you're looking for a place to build and you want to be toward the southern part of the county, toward Heavener, you might check that out. And if I can help you with it, call me. In the 1 to 200, there were 4. In the 2 to 300, there were 3. 3 to 400, there were 3, and then it jumps to the 500 and up, and there were 2. One of those was a 975 house on acreage that's pretty close to town. That's pretty cool. So there's something for just about everybody. What went under contract this week, there were 8. There were 3 in the 1 to 200, 3 in the 2 to 300, 2 in the 3 to 400, and that was it. So you can see that between 100 and 400 is where the contract activity was this last week. And then closed, there were 13. 0 to 100, there were 6. Then it jumped to 2 to 300, and there were also 6. And then there was a gap again between 300 and 500. And in the 500 and up, there were 2. So kind of interesting price points in the closed category. There were 16 price drops, so a little more adjustments than we've been seeing. And I want to talk just for a minute about what I've been seeing in buyer activity. And I checked this statistic with one of the online data places I follow. So 46% of the sellers in the last year gave buyers a concession. And a concession means the seller pays for some or all of the buyer closing costs. And I know as a seller that seems annoying, but that is kind of what it's taking in a lot of cases to make the deals work. And 1 in sellers have cut their list price to get their house under contract. So a little different market than we saw a few years ago, but still decently good. I had a really good June. I've been really busy. As a matter of fact, I didn't get videos done last week because I had a lot going on. So there's still ways to make it work. You just have to have a little more flexibility, and everybody has to give and take a bit. So expect buyers to ask for something when you're selling your property because they're going to. So this is Amy. Have a great week.